Hi, and welcome to my 4-minute presentation on our upcoming 2-day workshop in Cairns, 10 Steps to Biological Farming. The aim of the 2-day workshop is to introduce to people who are wanting to know more about biological farming and have not done any previous background courses in biological farming. We are going to be covering on day one a lot about soil mineral balancing and how it pertains to soil health, the importance of the physical, the chemical and the biological factors in soil health, with the emphasis on getting the soil mineral balance right to nurture biology and create an environment to support biology. We'll also be talking about the importance of carbon and its role in fertile soils and what makes a fertile soil, as well as concentrating on the biodiversity in the soil that's important to making minerals plant available for uptake, and the key roles in binding soil structure, as well as controlling specific diseases within the soil. Day 2 will focus a lot on what creates a healthy soil and what defines a healthy soil, and how we can introduce biological inputs into the system, and as well as plant management. How do we manage the plant alongside of the biology to get the best outcomes? Finally, we'll be talking about how we monitor what we're doing. It's no use doing something without gauging its benefits. And the final aim of the workshop will be to take all the content that you have learnt in the 2 days so that you can package it up, take it home, and then start rolling out an on-farm plan to start converting to biological farming systems. So you might be wondering, well, why do we need to go to a biological farming system, and where does it fit in? Well, pretty much biological farming are a number of biological strategies that you can use as a complete biological system, or they can fit into organic systems at one end and biodynamic systems, but they can also be used in conventional systems. You can take certain aspects of biological farming techniques and put them into your conventional system. An example of this would be integrated pest management, where the aim might be to reduce the amount of on-farm chemicals that you want to use. But the major calling for biological farming is in restoring soil health. We are facing huge problems with continued conventional systems and the degeneration of our soil health. And this is critical to our survival on this planet. The other aspects is that we'll talk about the loss of minerals in our soils and how that impacts human health. With the decline in soil mineral levels, and we'll talk about why this happens, we then lose the ability to have healthy plants that are highly mineralised and more prone to disease. And suddenly this vicious cycle happens where we have unhealthy plants getting disease, and then the need for more chemicals to control the disease issues. So one of the aims is to create healthy soils to create more resilient plants. That then has a flow-on effect to us in our human health, to where we get our minerals from. Healthy plants means healthy animals. Healthy pastures mean healthy cattle. Healthy produce means healthy humans. Most plants require 17 essential minerals to grow healthy, yet a lot of the time we're only giving them a small amount of those essential minerals to grow the crops. And we'll talk about all the reasons for why this happens. But the other major concern is just not the mineralisation in our health. The other concern is the growing food security issues facing the globe over the next 30 years. There's a number of factors that are impacting on this. The major impact is the ability to feed a projected population base of 9 billion people on the planet. Currently we're sitting at about 7.5 billion. So over the next 30 years we're going to be hitting 9 billion people. And papers are pertaining to that we need to pretty much double world food supply to be able to feed the population. The other problems we have is that 60% of this population mass are going to be living in megacities, which will have a huge requirement for water reserves, and it's projected that they will potentially be taking away 60% of the water that's currently used for irrigated agriculture. Other issues are we're losing arable land for production due to soil erosion, declining mineral loss. We're losing obviously carbon, which makes soils fertile. The other is, I mentioned before, is water scarcity. But another major factors that are emerging is obviously peak oil and peak phosphorus. Now, peak phosphorus is a critical mineral required in plants and our health. And as these minerals and resources become scarce, obviously the price of these commodities increase, and then we're all pretty much in a situation where our prices that we pay for our foods become higher. That means that chemicals that are used on farm are often derived from the petroleum industry with peak oil. It puts an impact on on-farm costs of production. So how can we survive in this? Well, one of the strategies is biological systems. And biological systems allow for us to nurture natural cycles and re-establish natural cycles, such as the nitrogen cycle, such as the phosphorus cycle. It allows us to use microorganisms to tap in and release the amount of locked up phosphorus in our soils, so we're not phosphorus dependent. It allows us to look at other forms of input, from composting, renewable resources that can come back on farm. So it fits in from a perspective of reducing on-farm costs and operating more cost effectively. So looking forward to catching up with everyone. The Cairns workshop is on the 5th and 6th of December. It's a 2-day workshop. There is an Eventbrite site on the internet that you can go to. Eventbrite bookings, look up 10 steps to biological farming, and there's a ticketing process on there for you to book in for the 2-day workshop. And we are limited to about 45 people, and there will be some practicals that we'll be doing. We'll be looking at a soil test and how to break it down to what it all means, how the roles of minerals play in the plant and why they're important and what they do, the role of chlorophyll and photosynthesis. A term that people aren't familiar with a lot is Brix levels, how we can measure the effectiveness of photosynthesis through measuring plant Brix levels. And we'll use a little refractometer in one of our pracs to have a look at that. We're going to do a visual soil health assessment, so we'll give you some skills to do a little test on your ground to work out what its health status is. It gives you a benchmark for starting, so that as you go over time you can then be checking to see if your soil health is actually improving. And finally we'll do a microbial brew and have a look at the brewing process for you to be able to brew your own microbes up and apply them on farm. And don't remember, this is also good for home gardeners, because a lot of these fundamentals can be applied in your home garden to produce minerally dense food. Thank you for your time. Look forward to seeing you in Cairns.